How would you develop this village? I think this village is in an amazing location. The landscape around it is perfect for expansion and development. And lots of space. Looks great. So the village itself, there's nothing really special about the buildings in it. There are some professions here, but not very many. But this is something you can remedy by actually building a few, you know? That is one thing you can do, of course. There are some holes. There's a cave here which I would want to cover up, as well as some other little bits here, like here and here. I definitely would not want to have those open. So to start off, I would fix all of the cave entrances so that no mobs can come out and go after your villagers. But after that, I would want to look at the layout here. So we do have this central square here. This happens to be a well, which is all nice, but if I want to expand this into more of a town, I don't think a well in the center would really work. I would replace this with a central square with perhaps some markets. And this can be an area where we have all the businesses. Now we're going to have a main street, that's for sure. But we have crossroads here. But one of them goes towards this pond. I wouldn't call it a lake. It's too small for a lake. But I have ideas here. Now, if we go over here, this goes out to the river. This goes into the forest. And this goes out into the fields. And this looks like a great place for farms. Lots of farmland all the way up to the river over here. I mean, you can also have, well, there's a village over there. You have a road going to that village. That's definitely what I would do. These hills, well, these are kind of some unusual looking hills, but I would probably leave these until later. May not even do anything with them. Over here we've got a big cave entrance. This I would want to cover up if I were to make this safer. However, I don't really foresee many mobs coming out of here. This is quite steep, except possibly this cave here. So I don't think this is much of a danger. We could leave it open and, it could be a mine. It could be a mine entrance there. Okay. So we've got this pond here. This is definitely a cave, an aquifer. As you can see, it does go down. Okay. This could be used as a little fishing pond, if you like, but it's so close to the center of the village here. So what I would do is right here. This is the big thing. I'd make a bit of a transformation here. I don't usually do a lot of terraforming. However, I feel that this is not ideal. I would not use this as a fishing pond. I would use this as a kind of harbor. So this area would become docks where small boats can dock. And over here, I would open this up so that you can go out into the river. Now, if you look at the area that this is in, it kind of stops here. However, it looks like this is a river biome. It's still a river going through here. Got a crazy looking cave there, Stripstone Cave. But the river continues this way. So one could argue that, oh, wow, this is all river. This should be a lake. One could argue that we could open up this river, have it connect back up to here, and go on down through here. And this is something I would likely do, actually. I'd open up the rivers. And this is the part that I would definitely do. I would want to open up this river. There's a strange little cave there. But there's a village here and a village here. Now this area, if I remember correctly, this village goes right over the river, so I'd need to split that. But back here, this area would be opened up. This is also a river here. So going back over to the village. Now would I build a wall around this village? Considering the nature of the world, and if this were Labyrinthum, and this is Labyrinthum, I would build walls around every village in town. And any expansion for the buildings here, I would build all the way out to the river. I'd make it really picturesque, I think. I would love to have some nice buildings along the river here. We would also have a bridge going across the river. And I'm not so worried about boat traffic going off in that direction. It's that direction that I'm most concerned about. But I would still make the bridge so that you can take a small boat underneath. So I think that's fine. Maybe up in this direction there'd be a few not fishing village, but fishing huts. So fishermen would be out here. But what to do with this? This is an almost complete portal. That is amazing. You don't see this often, do you? Wow. So if we were to look at that. No, you can't complete the portal. But that is amazing. So, actually, I'd like you to tell me, what would you do with a ruined portal right next to a village? Would you reinstate it as an actual regular portal? Or would you have it as some kind of museum piece or ruin? Let me know in the comments below. Now back over here. Where would I put the wall? So I would not have a bridge going across here. If I want to connect to the village in that direction, I would likely build a bridge here, road going down in this direction, and then over to this village. On the other hand, I would have a road going off in this direction towards this village. And we would have this area, this whole area is farmland. So I'd densify this. I would not cut down the trees. I'd leave the trees, but we'd have a wall because, mobs like to hide in the forests at night. In the morning when the sun comes up, you'll sometimes find them under a tree. Around here, now if we take a look at the landscape along the edge of this side of the river, this is difficult terrain. But it's doable. You can build a road if you want. I don't think I would put a main road. No. You can see the other villages there. One there and one there. They're actually fairly close by, which is quite nice. This whole area would be farmland. So much farmland in this area. This is a great farming area. But if we look over here, road going off into that village. Yeah, we could do it through here. This is an odd terrain here. But we could do something with this. Yeah, definitely. And also build a road going off in that direction. I believe there's another village down there. Yep, there is. That's perfect. With farms on either side. Probably not up here. No, I don't think we'd put farms there. But farms all over here. I do like that. So this village, I think, is perfect for having its own little port. So you can ship a lot of farming goods. So agriculture. That is what I would do with this village. Very much agricultural with some fishing. Possibly some mining. But I like how there's a lot of horses around here. So I think we would have a lot of ranches, maybe. Horse ranches. That sounds good. I think that's what I would do with this village. Businesses, of course, we'd have to have a marketplace. If we've got this port, you've got goods coming in and out and right up this street. And I think we would have a lot of shops lining this street. Yeah, definitely a lot of shops lining this street over to here. Marketplace. Have like a town hall somewhere around here. And I like the idea of having these main streets, the crossroads, having businesses all along them, with all the houses going back in this direction, over in this direction, and of course along here and over here, going off in this direction. So we'd have, it's kind of like 4 quadrants. And you'll sometimes see large cities built like that. Actually, the one I live in is quite similar. There's like 4 quadrants. And that is a nice, neat layout, too. I really do like that. This is an interesting bit here. These hills, I would preserve them. I actually like having this kind of thing, and I'd build a bunch of homes in here as well. That just seems like it needs its own name, its own neighborhood name. I like that. All right, so let me know, how would you redesign this village? Let me know in the comments below. There is, hold on. Before we do that, I need to see over here. It is a skeleton. Okay, like I said, I have to cover those up. I definitely want to cover that up. But yeah, as I was saying, let me know in the comments below how you would redesign this village. What would be the main industry or industries? Would you make it a bigger town, or would you fill up the entire area with a city? I mean, you could do that. This is really a great location to build. I really like this, and someday I'll get up here. Alright, so let me know in the comments below. If you like videos like this and would like to see some more, then please consider subscribing to this channel as well as my main one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.